The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte threatened to slap Davao Police Region's chief for the recent reshuffling of police officers in his city. In a local program, Baste launched a tirade against Police Brigadier General Nicolas Torre III. He cursed at Torre and said the reshuffling of police officers was disrespectful to his authority.
May sa paon yung tawanan, kita sa paon yung nakunin. Pag mo palang paon yung nakunin po.
Torre said the mayor is not worth responding to, insisting that he is a professional police officer. Meanwhile, former Senator Antonio Trillanes says Solgen Menardo Guevarra has a, quote, softened interpretation on the letter of the ICC naming 5 suspects in the drug war. Here's an excerpt from his interview on Storycon.
Any word from them o is there any communication between you and them as to ano mangyayari sa kanila?
At saka dagdag sa tanong ni Ed, Senator, tama ba yung interpretation ni Solgen Guevarra dun sa request ng ICC?
Okay, una po muna, I cannot confirm nor deny about their possible cooperation with the ICC. Basta gano'n na lang po muna yon. Now, as regards
sir, malaman niyo, sir,
the other question...
Sir, malaman yung sabi niyo, ha?
Yes. So, ang kwan po dito is... ito pong sulat ng ICC is basically a summons, panapag na mag-submit sila ng counter affidavit, ika nga, no?
Yeah.
So parang binibigyan kayo ng chance, informa kayo sa inyo ng kung ano yung ikinaso sa inyo, kumaga yung right to due process. Binibigyan kayo ng opportunity na mag-cooperate. Ngayon, if they choose not to cooperate, therefore, yung evidence against them would hold. And one way lang yon, So ito nga yung kanilang pagkakataon na hindi maisama sa kaso. Pero kung talagang idolong-idolo nila si Duterte at willing silang sumama sa kulungan dahil sa pinagsamahan nilang kung ano man, edi so be it. Parang ganun po yon. Hindi kasi the way Solgen Guevarra interpreted yung letter, parang isinofen niya eh. Hindi ganun yun, no? Ito yung due process. In-inform na sila na suspects na kayo, hindi na kayo persons of interest. Therefore, kailangan na kayong magbigay ng counter affidavit, ika nga.
Sagot na.
Pag bigay nagbigay, it's detrimental to your interest. And by the way, ganito, base sa ating impormasyon, kasabay nitong sulat na ito ay yung request na maisama sila sa blue notice ng Interpol. Ang blue notice ay kung saan papayagan silang lumabas dito, hindi sila makikita dito sa immigration counters dito, makakalabas sila. Pero dun sa bansang pupuntahan nila, ay i-hold sila doon sa immigration mga holding areas. Tapos aantayin nila yung ICC team dumating kung kailan man yon, one day or a week or 2 weeks after. So hindi ka makakaalis doon until makausap mo yung ICC. Ganun po ang implications ng blue notice. So yung 5 na yan, technically or basically nandoon na.
The effort to siphon industrial fuel oil from the sunken tanker MT Terra Nova is still on hold as authorities work to seal all the leaking valves on the ship. Here's the report.
This exclusive footage of Ground Zero where the MT Terra Nova sank in Limay, Bataan is only about 7 kilometers away from the shore. Traces of oil can still be seen. Oil spill booms have been deployed to prevent the oil from spreading further. The provincial government of Bataan has since inspected the area. The Philippine Coast Guard said that they are now conducting 24/7 operations at Ground Zero. The PCG has also conducted an aerial inspection from Ground Zero to waters covering Bulacan, Cavite, and Metro Manila. They found very minimal or almost no oil, contrary to reports on social media claiming that the oil spill was extensive.
May mga reports in previous days na may mga sightings in the areas of Cavite, pati yung doon sa may Bulacan Airport. Wala kaming nakita kanina. Clear yung coastline doon. Walang nakitang any signs of oil spill except for very, very thin na packets.
They also did not see any oil heading towards Metro Manila. Even the oil spill initially seen in Bulacan and Cavite has reduced in size. The siphoning of the nearly 1.4 million liters of oil carried by the sunken tanker has not commenced though, as only 18 of the 24 vacuum valves of the ship have been sealed.
Hindi pa so far. Kasi ang ginagawa nila, kahit may first layer na, dinadagdagan nila para masiguradong hindi masira pagka nagsimula silang mag-siphon. Positive naman yung actions below water.
Once siphoning begins, they aim to extract 50,000 liters of oil each day. The target now is 300,000 liters so salvage crews can try and float the tanker. After that, the empty Terra Nova will be brought closer to shore where they will continue to remove the remaining industrial fuel. Today, the results of the water test conducted in the waters of Bataan were released. 5 barangays in the town of Limay were deemed not safe for swimming after water tests showed oil and grease in the water exceeded the allowable 2 milligrams per liter. 4 barangays also failed the water test for fishing, exceeded the allowable 3 milligrams per liter. Barangay Lamao reached 30 milligrams per liter, which is 10 times the allowable limit. A fishing ban had already been declared in Limay. The provincial and local governments have promised to focus on distributing food packs and cash assistance. In addition to the oil spill, fishermen have also been affected by the red tide and Super Typhoon Karina. Authorities are coordinating with the owner of the sunken tanker, who is said to have complete documentation. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. The Philippine Star reports that the U.S. is allocating an additional $500 million in foreign military financing to the Philippines. This is part of what Washington calls a, quote, unprecedented and once-in-a-generation investment in modernizing our armed forces and Coast Guard. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin made the announcement on Tuesday. And in business world, the national government's outstanding debt jumped to a fresh high of 15.48 trillion pesos as of end June. According to the Bureau of the Treasury, this reflects the impact of the peso depreciation against the US dollar. Year on year, the debt stock increased by 9.4% from 14.15 trillion pesos a year ago. Now, the southwest monsoon or habagat is getting weaker according to Pag-asa. However, the Weather Bureau said that the western portion of Luzon will still experience thunderstorms due to habagat. The rest of the country will also experience isolated rain showers today. No low-pressure area is being monitored so far, but Pag-asa also forecasted that 3 storms may form in the Philippine Area of Responsibility in August. The government aims to reduce flooding in Metro Manila by 70 to 80% after the recent floods. However, DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan admits that not all issues will be resolved during President Bongbong Marcos's term. Mobile Journal Julie Baiza has a story.
The government aims to mitigate flood in Metro Manila by 70 to 80% following the massive flooding caused by Typhoon Karina and southwest monsoon recently. This is through the Department of Public Works and Highways Master Plan on Flood Management.
I think 70%, 70-80%, including dito sa drainage program inside Metro Manila, addressing yung mga basura and yung mga informal settlers natin, kung minsan maano natin. I think 70-80% we'll have to be able to mitigate the flooding problems in Metro Manila.
But Bonoan admits that not all flooding issues would be completely addressed within President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s term.
I think we'll try to maximize whatever we can under this administration. Actually, yun ang ni Presidente sa amin ngayon, that we'll try to maximize actually whatever we can do now under the remaining years of this administration.
Meanwhile, the DPWH chief highlighted that since July 2022 up to May 2024, the government have completed 5,521 flood control projects. 656 of these are in Metro Manila. But he clarified that many of these projects have started way back in the previous administrations. The agency is also set to implement thousands of projects.
And I also informed the President that continuing with the flood control projects all over the country, we are going to continue to implement more than 5,000 flood control projects.
Bonoan categorized this as immediate engineering interventions in the principal rivers, as they are also implementing flood control management programs in the 18 major river basins throughout the country. For Metro Manila, the agency has the Pasig Marikina Flood Control Management System. Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour this Wednesday morning. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.